Here is Drake in Idaho, and he says hello. He's on Mad Dog Unleashed. Drake, good afternoon. How are you today?
Good. How are you?
Fine, Drake. Thank you. What's on your mind now? Let me hear.
I just want to get your thoughts on the Braves' top prospect, Ronald Acuna. Do you think he'll be on opening day roster?
No, he already isn't.
What's his feeling?
They sent him down last night. Obviously, that means he can be called up on April 13th. It's all about service time, and if he stays under 172 games, I think it's 172 days, the Braves have him for the extra year. So April 13th is against the... It's in Wrigley Field, so he will miss the first 3, 6, 9, 12 games of the season. So the question you ask yourself, if you're Atlanta, they miss him for 12 games, so he's not on the team for 12 games, and as a result of the first 12 games of a 162-game season, they have him for the extra year of contractual agreement because he doesn't have enough service time to be a free agent. You need 6,000 days of service time to be a free agent. 6,000. And by keeping him short, I think it's 6,000. I might be wrong on the day. I don't know. That sounds like it's too long. But don't forget that whatever it is, they by keeping him short of the full schedule this year, they have him for an extra year. Now, the problem with it is you can tell me what's the big deal about 2 weeks. Well, if you're an Atlanta Brave fan and you want to get wrapped up in the beginning of the season, well, against the Phillies on March 29th at 4:10 at that stadium there in Atlanta, when do you want to see him in left field? As it turns out, you will not see him in Atlanta until they play the Phillies again on April 14th. So they play the Phillies twice at home the first 2 weeks of the season. You don't see them. You don't see the kid play left field until the April. I'd say 14th. I meant the 16th. So that's the issue, and I can understand why a Brave fan wouldn't like that. Opening day is supposed to be a fun day. It's supposed to be a dawning of a new season. Everybody feels good about themselves. They take the afternoon off. Go have a beer and a hot dog at the ballpark, and, they get 6 months of straight sports with your team on an everyday basis. But in this case, in Atlanta, you don't get your starting left fielder because the Braves want to make sure they have an extra year of control. Now, I understand why the Braves are doing it, but 6 years from now is a long time. I do understand why the Braves are doing it, but then you can't tell me if you're Atlanta that you're trying to win, because the team that's trying to win, yes, it's a long season. But a team that is trying to win, you forfeit in the first 12, 13 games of the year. You are not as good a team in the first 13 days of the year by putting Acuna there in the minor leagues. You're not as good. You're not as good a team. And so you think that's the right thing to do. And Atlanta says, the hell with it. I'm not worried about 2018. I'm worried about 2025. So there you go. And they're not breaking law. This is not the CBA. This allows them to do this. Dennis in Cleveland. He's on Mad Dog Unleashed. Denny, good afternoon. How are you today?
Good, Mad Dog. How you been?
All right there, Dennis. I'm doing well. Thank you. How are you? Okay? What's on your mind?
Yeah, long-time Cleveland Indians fan.
Say again, Den. What'd you say? I'm sorry. Run that by me again. Hello? All right, we lost Den. Dennis, you there? All right, so Dennis, maybe call back and we'll get that clearly out and we'll get his thoughts. Jay in Philadelphia, he's on Mad Dog Unleashed. Jason, welcome. How are you today, pal? What's going on?
I'm doing well. Chris, how are you?
Fine, Jay. Thank you. Let me hear now. What do you have for me?
I want to talk about my Mets. I think they're going to hit the over on that 82. They won 70 last year. That was without Syndergaard. Cespedes only played 81 games. You figure Syndergaard's going to get 17, 18 wins. Same for DeGrom. I think Bruce will have a strong year. He seemed to settle in last year before they shipped him off to Cleveland and adjusted to New York. I think with that pitching staff, if they stay healthy, I think they're going to hit the over on 82.
I agree.
They've been so battered by the injury bug the past few years. You figure that it's going to come around at some point. The luck's going to go their way. I just think the lineup's better with that staff. Syndergaard is too good that they're going to hit that over. I'm not saying they're going to win 95.
Go ahead. I'm listening.
I mean, I'm not saying they're going to win 95 games, but I think 85, 86 games, they could be in the mix if they stay healthy. if they stay healthy.
Well, yeah, those are the key words, Jay. The Mets are a top-heavy team. I mean, they're a team that's going to be, all teams will have trouble if they have major injuries. We know that. But the Mets are not going to go crazy spending money. They're in a tough division with the Nationals, who are good. So they're not going to, if they fall out of it and they have an injury, they're not going to, they're going to basically chalk up the year. But overall, I'm with you 1,000%. If Syndergaard and DeGrom can make 60 starts, okay, that's essentially 30 apiece. If they can make 60 starts, they are two big time pitchers. They should be able to win 30 of them, and that's 30 wins. And you do the math, folks. If you can get yourself, you got to figure out how many wins you need from your starting pitchers. If you get 30 wins from your top two, you get 12 wins from your third pitcher. That's 42. You get 12 wins from your fourth pitcher. That's 54. And you say get 10 wins from your fifth pitcher. Those are 64 wins. You throw in some pitchers, wins for your relievers and everything else. I mean, that's 80 wins before you even blink an eye. So I am with you 1,000%. If they get those two healthy at the top of the rotation, they got a chance to be halfway decent. You're 100% right on that. 100%.
I agree. And you figure Harvey's going to have a bounce-back year, hopefully, because of the contract. And it's funny you mentioned Turner before. They could have had Turner playing third base and Murphy playing second base. If you think back, it's tough to think about, but it's funny. Those two areas have been a black hole for them, and they could have had those two guys.
Yeah, I get that. Everybody gave up on Turner. The Mets aren't the only team, but yeah, and he turned out to be a hell of a player. I'm with you on that. The Mets are a team. Listen, you don't trust their health and you don't trust the team, but 82 is a good number on the Mets. I think the Mets are also a good number in Vegas to play to win a championship. Because I bet you that odd, what is the odd for the Mets to win a title? I bet you it's 25-1. I think that's a good number too. Because their pitching, if they made the postseason, is good enough to go out there and, maybe dominate a short series. So I could see playing the Mets in that department too. Here's Joe in Tampa, and he's with us here on Mad Dog Unleashed. Joe, good afternoon. How are you today? What's going on?
Hey, Dog. How you doing?
Hello, Joe. Nice to talk to you. What's on your mind today? What do you have for me?
Well, I just wanted to say, long-time listener, and I think only second-time caller. But I was a little bored at work today, so I started going through my envelope of all my tickets of games I've gone to, and I got all my autographs in there. And I found a Mad Dog Russo autograph from 26 years ago at the Tarrytown softball fields when you guys for WFAN.
Oh my God! You found an autograph 26 years ago. My goodness gracious!
Yep.
1990, 92, 93.
I think it was.
Yep.
Yeah, it says "Be good, Mad Dog Russo."
I used to say that all the time. Love all our fans. Be good, Christopher Mad Dog Russo. 100% right.
Yeah, exactly what it said. So anyway, I wanted to ask you about this. What we've been hearing about the possibility of Judge being high up in the order for the Yankees. I don't understand even to forget the leadoff thing. I thought that was a joke. But if he bats second, which I've seen as a possibility, doesn't that seem like not the right position for him? I know they have three big boppers now, but to me, if they're going to put someone at
what it does is, Joe, it separates the two big righties. You put Di Gregorius at batting third, so you separate him and Stanton. That's the advantage of doing that. You don't want Stanton batting fifth. You want him getting as many at bats as you possibly can. So you want him hitting cleanup, and you get Judge in at bat in the first inning, and so you split up the two righties with the Di Gregorius in the middle. That's why they would consider that. We continue. We take a break. We come back here on Mad Dog.